But like that wouldn't even. I guess that wouldn't even ever come up. I don't
That's
think I've
the
ever
thing,
come
like,
up with anyone and be like, "Hey,
Exactly.
you Mexican?" No, it's like you talk and then someone, or like with us, like, "Oh, like they hear a name. Oh, that's where."
Well, the
you're
one
from.
thing that you'll know that they're Mexican is if they go "Órale, güey" when they talk to you.
Right.
Because if they're from Spain, they're not going to say that. If they're from Mexico, you'll hear "Órale, güey,"
Right.
and then you're like, "Oh, okay."
Right.
No, I'm kidding. But it's like. Hello, retards. Welcome to episode number 43 of Talking About Real Shit podcast with yours truly, Dennis, and my good old sister. This I actually want to tell you, but you left, so we'll start. We don't know anything what we're going to talk about today, but here's at least one thing. So I was listening to music, right? And I'm just listening, and I thought the artist that I heard, I thought that it was Winslow, like another artist. And I'm like, oh, let me see if this is Winslow. And I pull up my phone and like, see, guess what his name was? Inja.
No.
Yeah. I was like, this is
No.
sick. Yeah, he's a British like drum and bass rapper
Inja?
artist. Inja, E-I-N-G-A or I-N-J-A. Inja.
Damn, he took my name.
He took your name. I was like,
Damn it, I was
I
gonna
didn't know anyone had that.
change it to that. Damn.
So what are you gonna do?
Kill him
Kill him?
and take over his identity.
You become British then.
Hello, governor.
You're like, hello,
May I
matey."
have some tea and crumpets?
So
You want some tea and crumpets? Why did I go Asian?
I don't know what that was.
I don't either. You know what I was trying to do? Like, this is what doesn't make sense. When I talk in Bosnian, when I pretend I'm like mom or dad and I'm like yelling at you,
Yeah.
I go from pretty much sounding American to straight up from the village in Bosnia, right?
Yeah.
But I can't take the accent and apply it to when speaking English. Like I can't now have
Because the dialect's completely different. It's the same thing as like British, like a lot of British singers sound
American.
Like
Yeah.
because
That's weird,
the
right?
way the dialect of singing happens and stuff. Like
It would just like I don't know why. Like it would be cool to be able to spin a little bit of an accent, but I can't. Like I can't even like get it in my head to even do it.
But the Bosnian accent.
Yeah. Like
because it's not the same. Like you say like molim te bre kako možeš tako raditi, But then you say like, hey bro, how can you like you can't do it?
Yeah, you can't.
You can't do it.
Persuđe. Clean the dishes.
It's not the same though.
Not
It doesn't
the
have the
same.
same effect.
Mm-mm.
Like clean the dishes sounds normal, but like,
Persuđe jebem mater.
yeah, I think it's just adding the bad words on there.
Yeah. It's funny like how many things you say jebem ti mater and it literally translates to motherfucker.
Yeah.
And if we were to do that in English, like go clean the dishes, motherfucker. Go do this, motherfucker. Fuck your mom. But it's like we say it to everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, jebem mater. Like it's just like a greeting.
Yeah. It's. Oh shit! It makes no sense. It's what it is.
You almost decapitated that baby doll.
I know. I think it's just different for everyone.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Man, some people are good though at accents.
Yeah.
Like I can't. Like I can like hear it in my head, right? The accent, but I can't like
Portray it.
Yes.
Look, it's all about the muscles of your tongue and all that
I have no
stuff.
muscles.
That's how you work out. But no, it's the way that your muscles work on
Yeah.
your tongue and stuff. It's pretty. Have you ever seen like an X-ray of someone speaking?
It's weird.
It's crazy.
It's creepy.
It's not just this. It's like all down here, like
Right.
how much it moves, and it's
Right.
like that's a very intricate muscle segment that humans have. That like.
I don't know if you ever watched like America's Got Talent or whatever. I don't know if I think it was America's Got Talent. Anyways, the girl that won, she's younger. I think she was like maybe 12, 13, but she does like the ventriloquist,
Yeah.
But not only does she talk, she freaking sings, dude.
Mm.
So she's a characters, right?
Yeah.
And you can't even tell. Like she'll be like, talk, but like you cannot even see her
It's
move.
crazy.
And when she sings, dude, she sings so good and it's loud. And I'm just like, holy shit, like you can sing without even moving your mouth. Like I'll show you or whatever, like after this. But I'm like, dude, she's amazing.
Yeah, it's
talent.
talents. Yeah.
Hey, Jinx, you owe me your fucking Mountain Dew.
How much? What talent do you have?
I literally have no talent. I don't think I have any talents. So I'm like that. I'm like very exceptionally good at that.
You're good at reading. You're like pretty good at reading.
I think that's like most people though. Like you have to be literate.
To me.
Okay, maybe not you.
No, because you're actually like you're pretty good. I feel like I honestly feel like I know we talk about it, but I feel like you can be like a narrator.
I think I read too fast though to be a narrator. You know what I mean? Like,
but the thing is, you can't. I don't think like if you practice at it, I think you can be a narrator because you can slow down. But then because like me, I like stutter a lot and like can't process words correctly. But you can. So like if you slowed down, you would even do it better.
It would be cool to like work doing like the Audible books, you know. But people that do that are like really good at like changing their voice like subtly, like not like huge, but like for like when people are speaking, you know, that kind of stuff. And I mean, I guess I could practice that, but usually I just like read all in like one thing, you know. I think maybe a talent of mine, but I don't know if it's talent or just like really bad procrastination, but like in school, I could wait the last minute to like bust out a paper. You know, like, I mean, I might have been like thinking about it in my head about kind of what I want to do. But for the most part, I could like bust it out and like do pretty good at it. Working under pressure, I guess that's a talent. I don't know if that's a talent, but
I'm the same way. Like, I feel like I'll always eventually get something done, like on a deadline. If there's a deadline, like and I hardly ever will miss it or anything like that. Like I'll always wait last second to do it. Yeah. And I'm the same way. Like I think I put in better work when I do it. Like
it's better under pressure.
Because I think the biggest thing is like because you do it all at once. I can't skip things. Like when I work on videos and stuff, it's hard. Like I do it because I have to because you can't do it all at once. But it's so hard for me to like stop. Like if I'm in the groove, like I'm like, okay, this is working out good. Like I cannot stop. Like even though I have to go do something, like you know me, like if we like have to go somewhere, like you'll see, like I'll be in there at the last second because I know once I stop, like I have the idea in my head of what's going on, but then it's like it just like
it like breaks that like groove, you know?
Yeah, that happens to me a lot.
The only way like I get distracted is if I'm like cleaning. Like I've noticed that, like if I'm like cleaning the room and I'll walk, I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I gotta start the laundry, and then I'm like, why did I come into the kitchen? Oh yeah, you know, like that kind of stuff. But it all gets done. But there's so many times where it's like I have all these things on my to-do list, and I'm like, I didn't get to it today. I didn't get to, because I know it's not like due until like you know. But then it's like it's due in 2 days, and it's like, wow, it only took me 30 minutes. Like why couldn't I have done this like before, and then I wouldn't have been like it wouldn't have been on my head. Yeah. But I think it just working under pressure, like I do it the best. Yeah. Because I think it's because like if I do it like when I did like school projects and I would do it earlier than it's due, then I'll like go back into it and I'm like, well, let me like change some things, you know, like I second guess myself. Whereas like then it's like I'm putting it my all and then you just take like I don't have time to like second guess myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like working on like your gut, like your initial response, you know. I feel like when you have time to think about it, it just fucks you. That's
why they always say, like, when you take a test, usually, like, your first thing, like, your gut feeling, like, that's the one you go with. Don't even, like, change it, you know? Yep. So.
My gut feeling is like, I gotta take a shit. Right. That's my gut feeling.
You want me to update on Astro World?
Yes, that's the night.
Have you watched any videos?
No.
Okay. So at first I was like, there's got to be a reasonable explanation. But no, you're right. People are pieces of shits.
Yeah.
That's your explanation. That was your reasoning. So I watched one video and it was like before the thing even opened, like before like the show even started. People swamped the gates, like they tore down the barricades and you can hear people screaming already getting trampled on. So like the show didn't even start, but people were so like in a rush to get in there. And then there's like some concert goers that were there that were saying you were so packed in there that like literally people were like you could barely move in certain sections, like you were so packed in there. And then what was fucked up though, so a lot of people were like in the crowd chanting like, stop the show, stop the show. It was still going. There was a video of somebody that was like a part of staff or something, I'm guessing, and you could see her, like, she runs up to like the side stage and literally is like in a panic and is like, somebody's dead, like there's somebody that's dead, like you need to stop the show. And then there's like another person that's like, yeah, stop the show, and like nobody stops anything. Wow. And then another video I watched was Travis Scott, right? That's is literally singing, but he's like, it's not even singing, he's just going like this like weird humming. It's like, yeah, like just this weird humming. It's not even like part of, I don't know what the hell it is. Literally,
he does a lot of that stuff.
It's like the person's 15 feet away from him, the dead body of them just moving it, like crowd surfing it, and he's singing this humming thing, literally looking at the body.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy
he's looking
shit.
at the body the whole time. So some people were like, dude, that looks satanic as shit.
Yeah.
Like in a way, you know, because you're like, dude, you're like staring at this person doing that and doing
Luis
this, like,
will laugh at this
weird
one.
thing.
Stop trying to be God. Luis will laugh at that one. One of our viewers, at least.
What's crazy though, in the beginning of that show, somebody was crowd surfing and accidentally like tried to take a shoe, or I don't know what it was, like someone like tried to like take a shoe, or I don't know if it was accidentally on purpose, whatever.
This was another show, right?
This is the same one, I think.
Or
maybe this was another show.
This was another show.
Okay.
Me and Luis talked about this
where
one.
He stopped the show
and like told them to like beat him up.
Yeah,
because he took
like,
the shoes.
Yeah. And so people were like, dude, you can stop the show for that, but you can't, like, you're like, because at first I was like, maybe he didn't see it, but he's literally looking, like he's looking at the person being like carted off. A lot of things. And then after all that, he went to Dave & Buster's. He went to Dave & Buster's after the show and said, oh, I didn't know anything like that was happening.
That's crazy.
And there was one part where in the middle of the crowd is and the show was outside.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the crowd was an ambulance with their lights flashing and the people doing CPR and him still singing, staring at the whole thing. Like, you don't notice then that? So then that part was weird, where I was like, okay, that's some weird ass shit.
Cryptic shit.
I kind of hope that it like completely ends him and Kylie Jenner's career.
Yeah.
Because I'm so over that whole entire family.
I know. Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. I don't fucking.
And then I looked at Pete Davidson.
Oh yeah, Pete Davidson, like, about fucking his sexiness.
What's funny is I just looked up. It wasn't even anything like asking that. I think it was just like looking up like, oh no, that night I didn't even look up anything about him, but I was on Facebook and then it came up like these news articles and it was like, it was somebody that was like, why is Pete Davidson so like, you know, it was something like that. And people were just saying that like he's just like a really nice person and just has a good relationship with his mom and is like down to earth. And
yeah, he is. That's what, like, I've heard.
They were saying like he's just like a really genuine, nice person, has a good personality. He's tall. They're like saying he's like 6 foot something. So like people like that. And that he just like is that.
He's a very simple, like, he's like a very simple,
like what draws
from what
people.
I've seen. Yeah. He's just like a very simple, like just, you know.
So that's kind of like those two things, I guess.
Yeah. That's what it is, though, sometimes, you know, personality.
I guess.
You know.
I guess that's all we have to talk about.
So I downloaded dating sites again.
Uh-huh.
I've swiped right on, because I don't have options. No, this is why you don't even. I'm going to go on a fucking tangent.
I'm ready.
Me and Luis have discussed this very, very many times, okay, about he doesn't know the struggle, okay, for me. So he talks to his friend that lives in Florida, and, like, he's like, oh, man, like, it's, you know, like, I don't have, like, what? I'm like, that's bullshit, man. I guarantee you that he has matches. It's not like me. He's like, no, man, it's like he does. I was like, no, like, you don't. For me, I don't have the option. I have swiped right. Like, and I paid the $8. Oops, sorry. I paid the $8 to
be a premium member,
to have unlimited. I was like, fuck it, because like I know if I do like whatever, and I have done it maybe 1,000 times. 5 matches. One of them was a fake like profile from Bangladesh, and the others were like 2 of them haven't responded to my message that I've sent them. I had like, let's say like 7 likes, but like I messaged them immediately and they take me off because they probably accidentally swiped right on me. And then I've messaged 2 of them, haven't responded. One of them is like a Will that's like married, and that's it.
How does your profile look?
It's like one of my better ones.
What kind of pictures do you have?
Like just me.
Show me your profile.
It's bad.
Show me your profile.
Now,
like on TV.
One of them is me being Bernadette, or what was her name?
Okay, so like there's your issue. Okay, like there's your issue though.
Because I don't have any pictures of myself. No, I'm gonna make a new one. Because he's like if we made one for you, like as like your friends.
Like okay, because you post that Bernadette, and I like me and you know it's a joke, right? Like me and you know it's a joke. Everything you know what the people that don't know you. Are
I did put our podcast on the bottom. I'm trying to get fucking subscribers.
That's great. They're gonna think you're a cross dresser. That like you dress up like that.
No,
on the
I put
weekends.
it was for a podcast. Like I don't.
Right.
That's what I put.
Dan said it. It's all about the profile because I'm telling you right now. When I was on those sites, like if anyone, like if it had,
I feel like Charlie. You know when they're trying to make him a dating website.
When he's like milk and jelly beans.
He's like
and jelly beans.
What do you like? People's knees.
I don't like people's knees. Yeah. I'm a full on rapist.
That's what I feel like. Like when he takes the picture. Like if
you replicated his dating profile. If you on there said, I'm a philanthropist, I like milk, steak, and jelly beans, and you posted a picture that was similar to his, style.
It was funny. It always sunny.
You would get more matches than whatever now. Like, I've figured out. There's 2 things. If you're attractive, which we're not, you can do those profiles where you're like, have like the nice ass pictures and
I've done this is my first time.
I understand.
This is my 7th. I've done funny. I've done like serious. I've done all.
It has to be funny in a certain way. Like when I put my funny,
but no one's gonna get that unless they're fans of It's Always Sunny.
Okay. And why else would you not want to have someone that's a fan of that show?
No, I get that. I understand that.
I used to put things on there like one of my personalities must match yours. Like that have like just making fun of shit.
I'll try that. That'll be my next one.
You have to, and it's literally all about the pictures. You know what I mean? It is. It's all about like the very first picture because that's the first thing people look at. They won't look at where you work. They won't look at anything. Like you could have someone that's like average looking that you're like, I won't even swipe on it, and you didn't even look to see that he's like, whatever, has all these other like check mark things, and then you see one that's like it's like, oh, he lives by the Boise River, cool. Well, okay, cool. He's I like the picture, and that's like the first thing. That's how you gotta do it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll make a new one again.
Or catfish.
I could
find a fake one.
I could.
I'm just kidding, but no, like dude, I would do the freaking try to do the Sunny Philadelphia.
I'll try that one.
Yeah, it's funny as shit.
See if that works. I'll have to delete this one because it's already wasted.
Right.
So I'll do it again. It's just a disaster. But anyways, like we were saying that, and I was like, he doesn't know what fucking not having matches is, man. I guarantee you, he has a lot because he's like he has like a good job, lives like in like a nice place that I think like near Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fort Lauderdale or something. Has a good job, like degree and all that stuff. Like he's like better looking than me. That's not saying much, but like he's better looking. And I was like that's bullshit. Like there's no fucking way in hell. There's no way in hell.
Maybe he's
no.
Maybe there's an issue with him.
Because I was like I guarantee he's pickier than me. Like he's not swiping rights on these fucking behemoths that I'm swiping on.
Why don't you ever like go out to the bars with your friends to pick up some ladies?
Well, all my friends are like COVID and stuff, so like we haven't gone out in so long, and I'm just like, yeah.
Have you ever gone to just bar by yourself?
Nah, I can't do that.
Why? Feels
weird.
Come with me. Let's go together.
Do a mobile podcast.
Dude, let's go.
No. I don't like the bar scene because like I'm
not all bars. Balcony.
That's like. I've been to balcony.
It's fun.
It's not what I'm looking for.
There's people there that are not gay.
I know that.
But you don't know what's there.
I've been there, and it was not like it was fun, but like if we were trying what I'm trying, that shit did not work. I I'm not a big I like bars. Don't get me wrong. It's just like I don't know. It's just I don't know.
I think now it's like mostly like mainly online shit.
It is and stuff, but like no, like it's still very physical and all that stuff.
No, I mean like just to find people. I think a lot of people are looking for like, not looking for, but like I think a lot of people have just like turned to online stuff.
A lot of people are turned. You know?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking like I don't really care. It's just like funny.
Dude, do it. Milk steak.
I'll do a milk steak.
Milk steak and jelly beans.
Magnets. That's my
like
hobbies.
dude. There's times where people have put like funny ass shit.
Oh, no,
like where I'm like, oh my god. Like
yeah.
even if it's just a swipe to just fucking have a conversation with you, because that's gonna make me laugh my ass off. So if you did that and someone's like has watched that show, they're gonna think that's funny as shit.
Yeah. All right. I'll do that on my next one.
Okay.
I'll do that for sure on my next one.
Cool.
Yeah. We'll see how it works. We'll come back with an update on that one.
That's for a 1 year one.
That'll be like soon.
Next week.
Next week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a shit show. It's a disaster.
Have you gone to Farmers Only?
No.
Try that.
I tried a Christian Mingle.
How did that go?
Not that great. I tried
Did you really try Christian Mingle?
no.
Oh, okay.
What's the black one? Blacksonly.com. It's not that.
That's not it.
That's not
that's
No, there is a like for black people.
Black for me.
No, I'm being serious.
I don't know.
There is one. I see it like advertised.
Are you gonna do blackface or what?
No, I'm just saying. I was just supposed to be a joke. Black dating site.
Oh
my god.
I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just joking.
Not eHarmony. I don't think there is. I think I'm just.
I think you just no. There is one.
There is one.
There
I know
is
there
one.
is
I watched
one.
the commercials.
Black Cupid.
That's
I think
it.
that's the one.
That's not Black Cupid.
No. Blackpeoplemeet.com.
Black People Meet.
Yeah. That's
Black People Meet.
Black People Meet.
That's a
not MEAT. Though.
I know,
There
but the
is
English
probably a website
leg.
for MEAT.
Look for it.
Let's see what pops up.
That's a bad choice. Black People Meet.
That is not good. There's the other.
Who came up with that? Who fucking came up with that? I know it's not MEAT, but hey, guess what? English language is stupid as shit.
Blackpeoplemeet.com comes up as first if I put MEAT. Yeah, Black People Meet. The largest dating site for black. That's all it says. I'm just trying to for black singles. Okay.
Is there white people
Maybe I should
meet?
join it.
Is there white people meet?
No, because that's probably racist. Makes no sense, but yeah, that's how
Black
life
people
works.
meet? That is so horrible. That is a
That
horrible.
is not a good name.
That is
It should be like it should be. What would be a good one?
Only blacks.
That's not a good one.
Okay.
Only because that sounds like only like that sounds more aggressive. What would be one? Like. Oh God! They probably heard on this one. Not that one. Not colored.com. I just didn't want them to think you said like something way worse. No, it could be like I was gonna say like eHarmony, like for Ebony Harmony, but like spell harmony different because eHarmony exists. You know? Or like something with ebony. I feel like that would be.
Is that not like a bad thing to say?
I don't think so. Maybe it is. I don't know. Because like I don't know. I don't think it is. Why would it be bad?
I don't know.
It's like a fancy way of saying black.
Blacks mingle. Like Christian mingle.
The blacks.
Well, they're saying black people meet.
Black people.
Oh,
black.
black.
Blacks is like
okay.
different. Like saying blacks or like saying the whites. It's like more aggressive. It's not like a lot of people
What about meet black people?
That's better.
Then black people meet.
Black people meet is bad.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, meeting blacks. What was it? What was it? What was it?
Meet black people. Meet black people. That's bad too. You cannot make this a good one because I
That's
feel
why
like
throwing ebony in there.
It's because I feel like I'm being racist with everything I've just said right now.
I don't think so. I think it's perfectly fine.
Nonwhites.com.
Nonwhites.com. Let's see, but then you got you're gonna get Asians
all
in there.
of them. Yeah, we don't want all that shit. We don't want all that shit.
We just want. Yeah, I don't know.
For Indian people, it could be thankyoucomeagain.com.
But come is like C.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Do put it in?
So Indians
put it in. See if it's on there.
So Indians have it set. Let's think of
dating site for Asians.
Asians would be.
Come stick your chop in me. Chopsticks and dicks.
Chopsticks and dicks. People, I don't think all Asians use chopsticks though. See, that's the thing with Asians is they're all very different.
Can you call them Oriental?
No, see that's like racist. Blacks. It's not fully there, but it's close. I think.
Are Asians?
I think we got to split them off.
Okay, so are Asians not all Asians?
I just don't feel like Filipinos are nearly the same as like the Chinese.
Okay, I'm talking about just Chinese and Japan.
That's not just Asian. That's what you have Vietnam.
So are they not all?
Wow.
So they're not all Asians.
That's technically all Asia, and they're all Asians.
Okay.
But it's hard to put an Asian's meat. Like it's you got to split them off. I feel like. You know. Because they're so different. Maybe you can.
You can.
You gotta put where you're from. Okay, let's just do Asians.
AsianTiger.com. Crouching tiger, hidden dragon.
That's terrible. What was that? Be better for me, because you always want better.
That's dumb as shit.
Better than crouching tiger Asian. That was probably the most racist thing you can say.
What the fuck? Wax on, wax off.
I won't say that. That was pretty. Wax on, wax off. See, that has nothing to do with dating. You have to put the dating aspect in it.
People can wax their body or not wax their body.
I don't know. What would be like for Bosnians?
What would be Bosnians?
Fucking.
Have you ever seen like the Russian dating site fucking profile pictures? Are the most cringy things I've ever seen in my life. What's
that one show? There was that one show. Fuck! It was that one show that like they were like online dating from like other countries, and then they would finally go meet them. And it was.
Oh, is it dating or like where they're married?
I think
it's like 90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance. Okay. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, God.
That's fucking terrible. Those are so.
You know which one's worse?
Which one?
Love After Lockup.
That one's good too.
Have you watched that one?
I've seen things of it. Yeah.
That is.
That's so rough. Those shows are so.
This is okay.
Good.
The Love After Lockup. When they're surprised after their significant other comes out of jail, and then they're just like going back to like, it doesn't have to go back to like what they used to do, but it's like, of course this person's gonna give you all the attention in the world and write you back because they're in fucking prison. There's nothing else to do.
Yep.
I can devote my entire, because I'm sitting here on my ass. I have nothing else to do. Yeah. You think I'm going to give you the same treatment when I'm out? Like, you're giving me money for Twix bars and ramen noodles. God, I want ramen noodles. But
I was gonna say, do you want to make some after this?
Yeah, I do. It just doesn't make sense. But it's fun TV. It's fun shit TV.
It's good TV. It's good drama.
It's good drama.
We talked about it before, but it's all about
making my life feel better.
Feuds and drama, and people love it.
You best believe I can't wait for that new Tiger King to come out.
That'll be good.
Hey, and there's a new season of Sunny. It's coming out
December 1st.
I'm so excited.
We're gonna watch together.
But I haven't even finished the other one.
You haven't finished 14? We haven't finished that
No.
yet? Fuck, we didn't finish that.
We need to see if that new cooking show with the Everything Eats.
Fucking, she eats everything. What was it called?
Everything Eats.
Should be.
But no, for real, Asian. It's hard.
Well, because like AsianPeopleMeet.com. There's got to be an Asian one. I'm just saying, like,
Asian
keep it
dating
simple.
site. But like, what's Tinder? What the hell's Tinder mean?
Tinder, like a flame. That's why their thing is a flame.
That's dumb as shit.
No, it's good because like that's what we start a relationship with. It's a little bit of Tinder. That's actually not bad.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
I know there's Asian ones.
What's besides Tinder? Wasn't there another one that's like a swipe one?
POF.
Oh, Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish. That one's, yeah. Match.com. That's like the Asian dating.
Or just Asian dating?
Yeah. Asian dating is seems like the big one.
You should start a profile in all of them.
Filipino Cupid. See, that's for specific for
Black
Filipinos.
Cupid. Black people meet? It's fucking horrible.
Like it's not just because
it's Asian people meet.
Yeah.
White people meet. Like it just sounds like you're saying that you're wanting to sell the meat of those people.
Yeah. Maybe some are.
We should become pen pals with a prison person.
I'm good.
Just for fun.
I'm good. I don't want to fucking track me down after. I'm good.
Or if they can benefit your life.
In what way? Tell me one way that a prisoner can benefit my life. Are we talking about like one that's going to get out in 15, 20 years or like one that's in there forever?
Forever.
What is he going to do to benefit my life?
What if he can guarantee you protection in the outside world because of the people that he's around?
The fuck do I need protection from?
The people that try to sell solar panels? They come knocking
solar
on the
panel
door.
salesman.
Those are fucking scary.
Or like the religious ones.
Jehovah's
Mormons
Witness.
Mormons and Jehovah's.
Have you seen the videos for the Scared Fitness? It's like funny. It's like it starts off with this chick being like woken up at 3 a.m. to this like black person chasing her, you know?
And
he's all like, no matter what stage you're in, we'll get your heart rate up.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because one of them was he's running away from like these two Mormons are like throwing like the Book of Mormon at him.
I've seen that.
That's
That's from
funny.
a show. That's from something.
Is it?
Like it's from like a skit show or something. I know what you're talking about. I believe it is. Fucking. Those are the worst. I can't stand those people.
What better
Black people.
Mormons?
I'm kidding.
Mormons mingle.
Like when you think about it, I guess it's a choice.
What?
Because I'm trying to think like what's worse to say? Like if I was being serious, like I can't stand them, and then you say like Mormons. But then you say, like, I can't stand them, black people. Like, people will take black people way worse.
Right.
Is it because you don't have a choice? Because Mormons, you have a choice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're still hating on a group of people. Like, it's the same equal of racism.
I think it's just the...
Or, like, for example, if I do, like, I hate all of them. The Jews. The Jews and the black people, I feel like, have the same equality.
I think it's because of all the bullshit that they've gone through. You know what I mean? So
so?
there's already this, like...
So Jews, black people... That's really it. They got...
Or, like, you know, or, like, people are, like, Native American.
Yeah.
You know, there's, like, 3... But, see, people are Native American don't get as much, like... Oh, let's not... Like, I almost...
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you got screwed over, but we're just going to continue to screw you over. Not saying that they don't screw over the people in the other, you know... I don't care about Mormons, but, like black people. But
see, that's what I mean.
I think it just gets, like... Yeah, Mormons, you get to choose to do that. You get to choose... Like, you know people are going to, like, hate you for certain things. Okay, that's your choice. You can get out of it or you can't get out of it.
You can choose to be a Jew.
Kind of, but for the most part, it's like if you're born Jewish, if you're born black, if you're born whatever, you can't like change your... You can be born Mormon, but that's something that you can still change.
You can change being a Jew by not being a Jewish person anymore.
But if you have physical traits, like if you're like black and you have the skin color...
The skin color is different. I'm talking about the religious part.
Okay, but a Jewish person's going to have like... People can identify them by their last names. A lot of them are like this Stein, you know, Goldstein, or you know what I mean? Like there's certain things. Just like us, we look white, But as soon as people see our last name, it's like we're
Smith.
But you know what I mean, though. It's
I'm
like
just trying to stir up some conflict. I like stirring up conflict.
Like stirring up ramen noodle soup.
That's good.
I make it so good.
I make it better though.
Bullshit. You should do a cooking show.
Cook off.
It's our cook off.
Yeah, I was just like wondering.
Yeah. I think it's just because it's like there's already like
there's a history. There's a
history and there's
yeah.
already people that feel guilt over things because of everything you see. So then you automatically think like I can't even sometimes say like, oh, like that person's like I don't even know how to like address.
What do you mean?
Like if I'm like, oh yeah, see that person's black, I always want to say African American.
See, I think the term African American is so fucking racist in my opinion. I think it's stupid. Why don't you say the general consensus of people will say like if would be more comfortable saying like, oh, there's a black man, or sorry, that there's an African American man, rather than me saying, oh, there's a black man. What if he's from England? He's not African American.
You're still African American. What would you be, African England?
You're not African American if you're from fucking England.
What are you?
If you're from France and you're black, you're not African American. You're African French. You're not American at all. But see, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Right. It's like that person, an African American is someone that descends from Africa and is now like an American citizen, has been raised in America, and that's what that is. But what about like Francis Ngannou, for example? He's, I think, a French citizen now. He's not African American, so you can't call. So he's a black man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But why is it so hard to say that?
For me, it's not.
But why is it so hard for like other? Like, maybe it's just hard for me.
I think I don't know, because people do find it uncomfortable saying that.
It is uncomfortable,
and it's like it makes no, because there's no difference between saying that and like a white man.
No, I know.
White guy.
I know.
You know what I mean? I don't get it.
I don't either.
Like some people like think it's racist, like when police like have a call and they're like, oh, like a 6'2" black man, 300 pounds. Some people think it's racist. Like, what are you supposed to say?
Right.
Same thing. 6'2" white man.
Right. I don't know. I think it just a lot of people.
Darker complexion is like just too.
I think it's just like I'm so like I don't want to offend anybody. I guess you know what I mean, or like make it to where it's like, oh, I'm being like, my words are taken in a way that sounds offensive, and I'm not trying to be that way. So I think it's just like trying to be like, okay, and I don't know, because it's like I don't know what you want me to call you, because I don't know what you feel comfortable with.
To me, see, I don't look at it that way though. Like if I say like, hey, like when that would never come up though. Like when the hell would you be like, oh, you're a black man? Like you wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? Like when would you ever say that? You know what I mean? I guess
in my head is like, okay.
You just say.
I always wonder, like, because Amelia, like, she's in school, and so there's gonna be like, you know,
like if you're
so like let's say that she is, I don't know, she sees another kid and they're black.
Yeah.
And so then, like, if she were to like mention something, I don't want to raise the whole "we see no color." That's bullshit, because there is color.
The way I would do it,
oh yeah, but like
the way I would do it is like, they just have darker skin than you. It's just like the same way, like how when you're at home with us, how we speak like a different language. It's the same thing as them with like their skin color.
Right.
It's just that's their descendant.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we're descendants of a race that is still the like a white color, because you're European, right, Caucasian, but you have a different language. It's like the same thing with whether it's a African American or like someone from like an African country directly from here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's not an African American. Like, that's the thing. I don't like the term African American. I personally don't like that term. It makes no sense, because it's like
that's like calling us Caucasian.
But that's the same. No, Caucasian's fine, because Caucasian just means like a white person, whether you're from Europe, whether you're from.
How come they don't have that for black people?
They do, black.
Oh.
That's what it is. Like when you're filling out like a form and it shows like genders or not gender, but like races and shit like that. There's like Caucasian, black, Latino, Asian, you know, things like that. But it's like, you know, because you could be black from fucking anywhere.
Right.
If you're from Africa and you migrated to Bosnia, you're not an African American.
Right.
I personally hate that term. When like, not that I hate that term. I don't want to say I hate that term. I just hate when it's used before you even know where they're from.
Right.
Like I can't say, oh, like the thing is I don't even know when it would come up. But like you know, like if you were explaining it to a kid, like you're like a kid, like that these people are like African American, like that's to me that's because now they think that they're just black people in that like you know what I mean? It's like it's different.
Mm-hmm. It's just like I always get like I don't know.
I like the thing is like to me like I'm okay with it all, and it's like whether like you find it offensive or whatever. Like I because like I see no differences.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm so like I just don't see the difference in like I'm not better than you, you're not better than me. We're just fucking humans on this planet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you had a shitty past, like everyone had a shitty past. You had a shitty past, like whether your family went through whatever, things like that. Like no one's better than anyone. So like for me, it's like for me saying black is not a derogatory thing.
Right.
Like it's not for me when I say like a black person, it's not. I'm not saying like a lesser person of value in my because it's so like clear headed in my mind that it's like it's just a color.
Right.
It's like this is a black couch. You know, it's a black couch or it's a fucking white furniture.
Right.
You know, it's a goddamn color, and that's what you were born with. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way you say it can be different.
Right.
Like a black man.
Right.
Or like a Mexican. I always make that joke about Mexicans.
Right.
But it's like I don't know. Like to me, it's like we're all
that's
the same.
That's another thing. Is no, is calling someone a Mexican a bad thing?
No, because that's what they are.
But what if they're not? What if they're from Spain?
That's when you say like when you don't know where they're from. That's the same thing actually. Is you don't say. You don't call them like it's the same thing as like when we speak English here,
right? And
when they say like American, it's kind of the same thing. It's like you don't pretense of what they are before you kind of know what they are. Like you're like it looks like you're like a Latin person. Like what?
Like that wouldn't even. I guess that wouldn't even ever come up. I don't think I've ever come up with anyone and be like, "Hey, you Mexican?" No, it's like you talk and then someone or like with us, like, "Oh." Like, you know, they hear a name, oh, that's, you know, where.
Well, the one thing that you'll know that they're Mexican is if they go, órale, güey, when they talk to you.
Right.
Because if they're from Spain, they're not going to say that. If they're from Mexico, you'll hear, órale, güey.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, okay. Right. No, I'm kidding. But it's like, no, that's the thing is like, when will it ever come? Like,
it won't ever come
I have
up.
never, like, really
it
brought up
that
saying, like, oh, it's a fucking black guy.
Right.
There. Like, why would I say that?
You would never say that. That would never happen.
No, like it's like it's an unnatural way of speaking.
Right.
But like if I had to explain it, like whatever. I don't really know when you would ever say it.
Right. You wouldn't, unless you're mentioning it to somebody else.
Yeah. But even like I don't know when would it ever come up? Because you even mentioned like, oh man, like this guy at the store. Like bumped into me, and we had a little scuffle, and that's that. Like that's what I would say.
Would you like
unless you ask like, oh, what nationality was? Like,
this is what's weird. Because it's almost like right. Why would you have to explain it? But it's almost in a way that you okay. Our family's not racist. None of us are.
But we actually said nuts.
Well, but you know what I mean.
So nuts to me is like it sounds so racist.
But it's like okay, let's say you're on a dating site. Right? Okay. And let's say you match and you hit it off with this chick and she is black, right?
Yeah.
So you hit it off with her, blah, blah, blah. So then you're like, okay, I'm ready for you to like come meet my family or some shit. You guys have been together for a while. And, you know, mom and dad are asking you about her, whatever. I feel like I would have this need to have to say that person's a certain color to almost prep them.
That's if she was Japanese, I'd be like, hey, like, I got this girlfriend that's Japanese.
That's fine. But why would we not do that if you matched with someone that's white?
I would. She's a white American, or she's Bosnian. I would say that because you're just saying a race.
I guess.
You know what I mean? Oh, she's black and she originally comes from Ethiopia.
But I've never like.
If she's like directly from there, but it's like she's black.
But I don't know. I guess I've never just like explained.
Because you're looking at the word black being worse.
No,
not
that.
saying
No.
no. I'm not saying
Right.
that. I'm just saying you're looking at it into the way of, you're looking at it in a way that it is technically worse. Like it's a more offensive word saying black rather than like Asian or,
Right.
you know.
I don't know.
You could say African technically, but it's like when's the level stop of them, you know,
Right.
being like when's the like we're Bosnian, but are you gonna say that like is Amelia's great granddaughter gonna be, you know,
Right.
like is she gonna say like oh I'm Bosnian?
No.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
that's like where does it blend through? You know what I mean? That's the only thing. But it's like if it's an Asian person, I'm like, oh yeah, she's Asian. Oh yeah, she comes from Laos.
Right. I don't know.
That's like where her country's from. Oh no, she's black and she comes from Nigeria.
I guess.
You know, that's the way I look at it. If you think that's racist, well then
No, I'm
I
not
don't
saying
know.
that that's racist.
No, I'm just like I'm talking
to them. Yeah.
If you think that's racist, like I don't know. Like to me, it's just who you are. That's simply what it is. I'm white and I'm from Bosnia. I could be black and I'm from Bosnia. You could be Asian. You could be from Bosnia, like those
Right.
people. Like you can be anything from anywhere, depending on where your family migrated to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it just kind of depends on. But essentially, we're white Europeans. We're Caucasian Europeans, and there's black Europeans. There's black Asians. It's everywhere. You know what I mean? Especially how the world is now. Everyone's migrating everywhere, and it's like.
Imagine what our life would have been like if we like moved to like Bosnia. Like we never moved. Like we lived in Switzerland and then we moved back to Bosnia instead of come here. Like we'd be like, what would we be?
I don't know.
I mean, you're already wearing the Adidas, so like you fit in.
I can probably skinnier. Like something like it
would be weird.
It's like it's very like I've talked to people from like when I stream I have like my tags being like Bosnia, Serbia, Croatia and all that shit, and sometimes like they join like hardly ever, but sometimes like, if I'm late enough, and we've talked and stuff. It's just like
They
like
talk Bosnian or American?
They'll like it's like text. It's like chatting and stuff, but like I'll speak Bosnian with them, but like they'll sometimes like do it in Bosnian or you know whatever. But it's like it's pretty similar. Like it's just you know I don't know. It's like a little bit, but you wouldn't know the difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even though there's like all this technology and stuff like that, like he was like asking so many questions about like how it is in like in America and stuff, and like I answered like questions, and he's like a big like basketball fan and stuff, and we were like talking about basketball and like talking about like the ticket prices and stuff, and it was like very expensive for them because it's different. Like when you know, it's just it's like it's the same. It's just the consumerism here is just so much higher.
Right.
You get a lot more wants in this country than needs. You know, you get wants in those countries too, but it's like in this country that it's such a different level of wants that you can achieve.
But they
to
make
get here.
right because they make certain. They make a lot. I mean, you have the dollar store here and shit.
Well, the thing is,
know?
like that's one you have a lot of money in this country.
Right.
Like you look at it, like our level of like poorness is what like 20,000, 21,000, whatever it was at the time. Last number that I checked. But like over there, like there's standard amount of money, and it's like it's not a third world country. It's Croatia. Like it's not that bad.
Right.
But the average USD conversion of how much people make, I think, is like $10,000.
It's like tiny.
That's average. You know what I mean? It's not that they're poor. They're just like whatever it is. Like, but that's just the average. That's just how much money there is here. Like for us, poor is 20,000.
Right.
You know, whether that means it's more expensive to live here, whatever that means. But that's like what it shows you. Like people make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 here, and that's like middle income. Over there, that's like top dog. You know what I mean? That's a shit ton of money.
You're like a king.
Yeah,
living like that over there.
if you're converting it to USDs, you know what I mean? Like they're making like let's say it's their shit's like they have the kuna in
that
Croatia.
shit's like so
that shit's high.
hard to like figure out.
Yeah, because it's very different. Like I think it's like. I think it was like $300 US is like I think like 1,000 kuna or something.
But like that doesn't mean it's like you get $1,000. Like the things are so expensive over there.
Yeah.
That it's like Not like, because I don't want people to think, oh, $1,000, like then I could like live like I do here. No, like it's so freaking expensive over there.
Yeah. Like a
I think I got like
a burger here is like $5, but over there it'll be like 20 kuna.
Yeah.
It comes out to the same shit. You're just making less, but it's still like essentially it's like he had like an engineering job or some shit, like just at a firm. Like it's just it's kind of like this. Went to college and all this shit.
But there's like definitely a lot more. Oh, then again, I don't know, like with like the bigger cities in those places. I'm talking about just like the places I've been to. It's like there's not a whole lot of opportunities. So a lot of people live in
that's
like.
That's the same thing here. Like if you live in Buell, you know what I mean? Like the bigger, that's why everyone moves to bigger cities. Like that's why you have like those towns in Italy and shit that are so cheap to live in now because they're trying to get people to live here because all the younger people. Same thing with our people, like our generation of like kids in Bosnia go to Germany and stuff to work over there because they can make more money. Right. Like they'll go to the top, Germany, France, Italy, like the big countries, England, shit like that, So it's true. Bigger cities, and over there it's so condensed where it's like Texas is almost the size of Europe. It's like half of Europe. So like that shows you how big this country is. Mm-hmm. So for us, it's like, they'll go to different countries to work.
Right.
And he was in what's like the bigger like ocean city, not ocean but like the sea in Croatia.
Greece?
No, in Croatia.
Oh, in Croatia?
Split. He was in Split.
Oh.
Which is like a bigger town.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I couldn't live there.
Yeah, it's different after living here.
Yeah.
It's very different. Can't really like. But if we moved, like, it would be the same shit.
Right. It'd just be hard to like get used to.
Yeah. Going to Bosnia? Uh-huh. Like if we went straight from Switzerland to there?
No, like if like right now.
Oh,
like if
yeah.
we had
Well,
to,
yeah,
like,
now, yeah.
Live there now.
The thing is, it'll never like. Me and Mom were watching this little like when I think you were here, but like watch like a little documentary thing. It was just like on. Oh yeah, it was about like the future and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
But then like shit like from they were doing like a documentary in Ghana, like a fishing town there, and like how the oil rigs way the fuck out in the ocean, like fuck their shit up from like algae and stuff from all the mining or whatever. But we were just watching that, and it's like we were saying, like they live very poorly, like they hardly have electricity, you know what I mean? Like they're schooling, they're teaching English and shit like that. It's like just super poor, town. It's a fishing town, like that's where pretty much everything comes from. It's like a smaller town, a smaller village, I should say. But like you can see, like they're so like genuinely happy. Right. They're eating like not like I'm not saying like it's like they're just eating like out of like one thing, like the kids and all this stuff, and like a lot of kids like teaching English and like they're trying to be better and all that stuff. And it's like I was like I guarantee their fucking suicide rate's a lot less than ours. You know what I mean? And it's like we wouldn't be able to go there, but the same thing, they wouldn't be able to come here.
Oh no, this would be like too much for them.
It would be too much for them. Like just like it would be physically easier, like an office job. Right. Rather than like what they have to do and what the struggles that they have, but they wouldn't be able to handle it either. The same way we wouldn't be able to handle it for them. You know what I mean? But like you see like how genuinely happy they are and all that stuff, and it's like I guarantee fucking their suicide. Like they like most of them probably don't even know what suicide is.
Right.
Like if you go to like those, like the Amazon rainforest, like villagers that like don't
the tribes,
like, the tribes and stuff like that. Like I don't even think they can like concept the idea of that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like wait. Like before, like they would probably kill each other, just like that. But like, it's like, wait, kill me? Like, why would I die?
I would be intrigued, like for the people that do live in. Like, I know there's certain tribes that are untouched because they'll just kill you if you come close. But it would be interesting if you could, like, figure out, like what are their like cancer rates or like just health wise. You know what I mean? Like, how healthy are you? Because they're not putting in all this stuff into their body. You know what I mean? Like going to a dentist, like how good, like no cavities, just intrigued as to, we're always like, you need this, like, if you don't take this vitamin, you know what I mean? Like all these things. Whereas like, what if they test, make all these tests and stuff and they're like, no, dude, like they're perfectly healthy. Like there's not, then that right there is like, okay, I don't need all this shit.
Yeah. Me and mom talked about it a little bit. Like I really like you see, like you don't have TikTok and stuff, but like I don't know, like there's like this like trend. I don't watch it like too often. Like when I see it on Instagram and shit like that. But like there's like trends of like people putting like their like mental health like issues and stuff like. It's like a fucking list of 400 things. Like I'm sorry, but it's like where the fuck did this push come from? Like I feel like it's being pushed way too much. Like one little thing will put, and whether you have it or not, it's like the levels, right? Like I feel like it should be in stages. Maybe it is.
Right.
I don't know. Like, is there like, because you're kind of into that shit. Like, is there like a stage like how there is for cancer, stage 1, stage 2?
No.
Is there like a stage 1 of PTSD and like a stage 5 of PTSD? Do they do it in that level?
But there's different, like, people will experience it all differently.
Well, okay, so like,
but you don't like diagnose it in like different levels, you know
right?
what I mean?
Okay, so like, well, I don't like it. It just feels like there's like
this is
every
the thing,
child
though.
got fucking like raped or fucking like
this is the
everyone's
thing,
seen
though.
so many issues.
A lot of people have.
A lot of people have. I get
but
that.
this is the thing, is we live in a. I get it. Okay, so there's a lot of people that there's all these whatever it is. But you can't just like, oh, I have this diagnosis, I'm just going to take this medication and that's that and everything will be better. Or I have this.
I feel like
and
a lot
I'm
of people
just
live
going
like that,
I know.
which
or
is
like,
the shitty thing of
or
it.
like, oh, I'm diagnosed with this, so that's just going to be my excuse.
Yeah.
Oh, is that you? Okay. It's like, okay, you can have that and it gives you, and there are times when sometimes you have to have that medication to kind of just help balance you out.
Yeah, of course.
That's only like a little part of it. And then it's like, okay, you have the name for whatever you're going through. Read articles, Google, read blogs, read what other people are doing, do self-help, but you have to like work on that stuff yourself. Like you literally have to work through like, okay, let me go back and figure out like, okay, this is upsetting me right now. Like I feel something like whatever the interaction it was, oh, this affected me badly. But like I know it's not this, like why? And so then you like go back. But you have to work on it through yourself. And then you do get better and like maybe then you're like, okay, like maybe I don't need this anymore. It was temporarily. Or maybe it's like, okay, I'm better. I'll keep working on that. I still might need medication for the rest of my life to like help balance me out. But it's like you can't just like, oh, I have this and then just like I'm just gonna use that as an excuse for everything I do.
I feel like that's the biggest problem.
Well, people do that. They're like, oh, I have the, I'm this, and that's just what it is. Okay, you could like work on it. Yeah, it's not like a lost cause. It's the same thing.
Like, let's say, for example, that like we did like the possibility of me being like autistic and shit like that, right?
Right.
Like, what? Like, think about how much different that could have been. Like, if they did say that I had it and like I lived with that.
Right.
It's like, oh, because I did this in school, like it's because of that, you know what I mean?
And that's exactly what happens.
And that's like the sad thing about I don't know, like to me I feel like there should be like a stage level. I don't know. I don't
what
fucking
needs
know.
to happen
I just feel like
is
it's
like
being pushed so much that everyone has something.
This is the thing, is like so many people will say like, oh, like my kid has this, so now like the whole like teachers have to like treat them differently, or like this whole world has to be padded. It's like you need to, the world isn't going to give a shit about your kids as triggers. Like they're not.
Yeah.
Your employer's not going to give a shit, your roommate's not going to give a shit, and no one's going to give a shit.
That's like what we kind of talk about, like the loud noises,
right?
And shit like
but
that
it's
before,
like you teach your kid to live in this world that has triggers. Like you teach your kid like, hey, you're not going to win at everything, you're not going to be the best, you're not going to be the smartest, you're not going to be any of those things. Like I'm not trying to be rude.
Yeah.
You can be good at it. You can beat yourself and your own personal best, but there might always be that. There's always going to be someone that's going to be better than you at something, unless you really, really and like advance in something, and then there's a chance where yes, you can be the best.
Yeah.
But like, other people, but that is like.
But you got to realize that
you have to like look at it like.
Yeah.
You have to look at it realistically. Like you're not going to be the best at everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, is like so many people are like. I think what happens, especially with like the newer like the younger ones, is they're the ones that are raised with like everyone gets a participation trophy and everyone gets this and everyone gets picked and no one gets left behind through their whole school. So that's all they know from the age of 5 to the age of 18. And then they're done with school. Then they go to the real world and now it's like, oh, I don't get a participation. I don't get paid if I just sit here and don't work. I don't get this. I don't get that. And it's like, it just raises a whole generation of entitled people.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, I'm now, and I'm not saying that like, I'm not like saying like, oh, you can't be depressed. Like, I get it. Like, I struggle with that shit too. But you can't just be like, well, because and it's not their fault either. Like, they're the ones that just were raised that way. And that's a shit way of raising, like, your kid being raised that way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, schools don't leave kids behind if they struggle reading or if they struggle with math. Like, there's no more like, you can get straight Fs and they're still going to push you to the next grade.
Yeah.
And then it's like, dude, like, you're harming that kid.
Yeah. Like,
there's like high schoolers.
Where's the push, you know?
There's high schoolers that don't know how to read.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then you advocate for your kid.
I feel like we're in a very big stage of enabling.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where we're
that's
kind of
pretty much
at.
what it
and
is.
I don't know if it's worldwide. I don't want to, like, here in this country at least, though.
Yeah.
It's very, like, pushed to, like, enabling.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. And it's not good.
And there's no, like, there's no, like, fear of things. Like, when I was going to school and when you were going to school, like, I was so scared that I was gonna like flunk a grade.
Same here, because
I didn't want all my friends to go, and then I'm like, I would be ashamed. Like, I have to go through like 7th grade again while all my friends are going,
and, like,
and now all these people that were in 6th grade are gonna like know. Like, that was just like I can't do that. Like, that was a shameful thought, and so you pushed harder because you're like, there's like a risk here. Like, I have to do good.
Yep.
But now it's like, what's the incentive when you know that you don't have to do shit? Yeah. Like, you know, you can literally come to class, sleep through the whole thing. Teachers can't do anything because their hands are tied. Like, not that they don't want to, not that the schools don't want to, but you have parents that come in and they're just like, I know because I worked at the school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like, you're literally coming in here yelling at me because your kid pulled a fire alarm and spit in my face. Like, you're yelling at me.
Yeah. And
you're not saying anything to your kid.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? So it's like, at one point or another, you're just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, be a piece of shit. Like, what am I gonna do?
Like, yeah, you're gonna, like, you'll do whatever you can, waste your fucking time, and then it's like, when they go home,
and there's just parents that don't care, and you can't use the excuse because I get everyone works, so a lot of people are like, well, the parents, I get it. Like, people are working and they're more busy, and there's not the one parent that stays at home. I get that. But the little bit of time that you have with your kid, like, you try to, like, talk. Like, how many times did I talk to Amelia about shit? Yeah. And it's gotten better. I'm not saying it's perfect. I know she's not going to be perfect because she's 5 years old. Like, there's days where I can't even handle my own shit. But it's like, you have to, like, you can't let them get away with shit all the time.
No.
It's hard. There's some days where I'm just like, I don't really feel like doing this right now. But it's like, if you keep letting them get away with things all the time, like, you're just enabling. Then you're gonna raise them to just be whatever, and then they're gonna raise their kids and just get worse and worse, and that's pretty much where we are right now.
Yeah, I think, like, it's just, it's like this is not really relatable to that, but I was like, there was this video, I don't know if you saw it, like, there was like a case of, like, I've seen this before, and I wasn't sure exactly what it was from, but it was like so she murdered her son-in-law. It was like a grandma, and they said, like, he's dead, and she, like, was like, she's like, yes, like, he's actually dead, like, and if you just watch the video, you're like, oh, she's fucking, like, that's batshit crazy, but like, so she had to, like, live with the parents, or, like, she lived with them for a bit, and, like, this guy was, like, super abusive to her wife, and like, he was just a dick and all this shit, like, for years and all this stuff, and then, like, one day she just fucking killed him. She, like, this guy's a piece of shit, and, like, you don't see that, so she killed him. But, like, whether it's right or wrong, whatever, and, like, that's besides, but, like, the false factual, like, something's a fact, right? Like, you can put, like, this is on Facebook, so that video was on there, and, like, you have people that are, like, completely on this side, not whether it was right or wrong, but, like, what happened. Like, oh, she's a schizophrenic person, to this is what happened there. It's like where's, like, is there facts anymore? Like, I'm scared that essentially 2 + 2 is not going to equal 4 anymore.
Oh yeah,
that's, like, where we're heading. It's like no, like, if it can be 5.
It can identify as a 5.
But it's like, where's, like, the facts? Like whether you think it's right or wrong, that's opinion. That's opinion. But the facts, it's like, people are like, that nothing happened, and then it's like, I was like, what's happening? Like, you know what I mean? And the guy, like, responded to my shit, and he's like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's because people just, like,
Or just saying
they just pick and choose whatever they want to believe in, and then it's like that's just what it is.
And that's so fucking scary. Like it's
that's just what it is, and it's like
thing.
Okay, there's certain things that is, and there's certain things
that isn't. And it kind
of
like it's not really enabling, but it's like it's enabling that like what's going on.
It gives people a God complex.
Yeah,
for real, because
it's trying to be God.
It's like making people. It's making people feel like entitled.
Yeah.
And it's making people feel like they're just God and they have the right to just.
Stop trying to.
I can come in and literally like treat someone like complete shit at a store, and like literally like be complete shit, and it's like I'm right because I'm the customer.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that certain stores managers are like, you're right because you're a customer. It's like, okay, whatever. And then it's like people so offended about everything.
Yeah,
people like you can't say
people
anything.
offended about everything. The whole like schooling process of enabling. Same thing that's happened like the police forces, like that they're like if there's an actual like assault happening and like robberies happening, they can't really do anything about it. Like
now it's just gotten to the point where
I
think maybe
crazy.
That's why like my whole like I don't want to say black because it's like. People are so offended.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that but people are so offended that all it takes is like, I don't know, like someone could and just start, and I'm like, dude, I didn't do it in a way to be like offensive.
Which like, I don't care. Like they can come to my face and say whatever the fuck they want. Like, and if we did have more viewers and like people responding and shit like that, they can say whatever the fuck like they want. Like it doesn't mind me. Cause like I guess like I found a title now or whatever, but it's like I just don't like I don't know. It's just
Are you gonna
like
put Black Don't Bother Me?
Black Don't Bother Me.
Is that gonna be your title?
Maybe. No, I don't be the title. I don't know. But it's I don't know. It's just like blackpeoplemeet.com. I don't know. It's just like
it's a sad world.
It's kind of it's
going to shambles.
It's a crazy and scary way where we're heading. Like it really is.
Like when you see pictures of like people like I don't know, just whatever, like it's back in whatever time. But like the people are all dressed like in their nice suits and there was like all this respect and this.
Let's not go too far back.
Right. No, I know what you're talking about. Right. No, I'm not saying that like things were. No, I'm not saying that. Okay, things were still bad. There's still people that were being not treated right, and I get all of that.
We're heading in the right direction in the wrong way.
Right.
You know.
It's just like the respect. Okay, like we'll just take one thing: kids in schools.
Yeah.
Okay. Like how it was like before. Like you have to like you don't have to. I'm the kind that's like. Give respect to people that are respecting you too. If people are treating you like shit, they don't deserve your respect.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, that's just what it is.
No, that's true. And I think that's true.
Like, don't come in and like I don't know. I've just seen kids just be completely like, just the way they treat people. I'm like, dude, like how are you even allowed to talk like that?
Yeah.
Just to like a teacher to like, I don't know. I don't understand.
Well, and like it's obviously the parents and all that stuff, but it's like, yeah, where did that come from? You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's things are like not taught at home either. And
yeah,
then
that's
it's
what
like,
I mean, yeah.
and then people just expect everyone else to fix it. Teachers to fix it, and teachers to teach your kid how to tie a shoe and wipe their ass. And it's like certain things are your job as a parent.
Like they're supposed to teach the class that they teach, and that's that. Yeah, I don't know. It's like. That's what I feel like. 'Cause, yeah, I know what you mean, but like you look at like older pictures and stuff, and it's like it just feels different, you know? Like you're just like I'm talking about like the 90s.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? But like I'm not saying like it was like obviously there's bad things for like everything, right? But I don't know. It just
life was simpler in a way because you just I don't know. Maybe it was just like, I don't know. Because now it's like people are working more because they're trying to afford all these things, right? Mm-hmm. Because they think that like these material things will make them happy.
Yeah.
And things are becoming more and more. I mean, like you see like more phones coming out, more gadgets, more everything. And so then it's like, you know, certain age that when kids get to like now that's my interest. Like I want this, I want that. That shit costs money, but you also want your kid to be happy for Christmas or whatever. So there's this like pressure. There's pressure on holidays. There's pressure to like buy. So I have to work more. And now it's just gotten to where you're just part of this cycle of just, I'm literally working to pay for all the shit that's sitting here.
Yeah, but like I feel like, I don't know. I don't know how to like explain it. I guess everyone's different.
So because people are working, you're spending less time as a family. Like I remember me.
But like, okay, for example, for that, like COVID, everyone was a family. It went batshit crazy. Like it's like, it just got worse.
Well, I think it's like, okay, so there's like, it has to be a balance.
There's gotta be a balance.
You know, because I think it's just like where people where it's like. Because people were so okay, me and you were growing up when we were living like before I had to work and you know all that stuff. But like being kids, almost every night we had dinner at the table with mom and dad.
Yeah,
like that was our thing, and those things are important whether you're talking or not. But it's like, you know, you just have that unit, and so when people don't have that, it's like you all just doing different things. Like you don't sit down as a family, you don't get a chance to really talk about the day. You're just busy, whatever. So when COVID, so you're so busy and distracted. So when COVID happened, some families got closer because they're like, oh, I really needed this time.
Yeah.
You know, to like just actually like focus on my kids and do things I didn't get a chance to do. And some people got crazy because they're like, holy shit, I realize what a fucking dumbass you are. Because I'm literally stuck in this fucking house with you. And I don't have my job to distract me or a coworker. And I'm stuck in this house. And then they realize like, this isn't working. And to some people, like things that made them happy, like, you know, whether it was like, I like going to the gym because that like, you know, I get my stuff out from that. I like going to this particular coffee shop. I like this socialization. Like if they didn't have anybody at home, like no roommates, no wife, no husband, no kids. So they're like, I like going to a certain coffee shop. I like going to the bookstore. I like going to the library, whatever it is to get that little bit of happiness. So that all like completely gets cut out. Mm-hmm. And now you don't know when it's going to come back. Yeah. Because all of us were like, well, it could be 2 weeks, could be 3 months, could be a year. So it's like that uncertainty and people start to panic. Like not just that, but it's like, I was lucky I had a salary, so I was still paying my bills. And some people are like, I don't have. So, of course, people are going to go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that
you know,
makes
and then so a lot of people like.
Had a different story and all that shit.
Or had like a really good job and then like lost everything. Or even now, it's like so many people are having to like. I read it all the time. So many people are having to like move in with their parents. Yeah. Move back home in a different state because they're like, I can't afford to live here anymore. You know, my lease is up, whatever it is. And they're trying to like up my rent. Yeah. And that takes a toll on everybody. Like I'm pretty sure you and me both. I mean, me and mom talked about this. We'd love nothing more than to have our own place. Yeah. Like that's what everybody wants. You know, it's like, oh, you have your own place, something that's yours to come home to, whatever. You can have whoever over, do whatever. And then it's like, but how it is in the world, and you can't have that. Yeah. Luckily, like we kind of all make it work and we have a good relationship to where it's not like horrible. But
that's very true.
No, there's some people that it's toxic. Like their family's toxic and they're like, it's between this or living in a fucking car. Yeah. And so I have to live here and do this. And so I could see how there's a lot more like
of course,
all this shit coming up.
No,
because
of course,
it's like it sucks. Or a lot of people were forced like, hey, either do this or you don't have a job. Yeah. You know, or do whatever. Or like I told mom, like I'm so happy that like I have a support system here when something happens with Amelia. Like when they called me like, hey, she was exposed, someone has to come pick her up. And I told mom that like if I was living on my own, like I would have had to be like, okay, like now I can't work for 3 days because I can't take you anywhere. And now it's like I can't afford my bills. So it's like we're just in a situation that it's different, so we don't like see it affect us as much. But like I can't even believe, like I can't even imagine to like other people like how it was, you know.
No, of course it affected everyone. I think like everyone.
And people don't know like how it affected kids too. Yeah. Because like when we were talking, like at least like the kids that I worked with, a lot of the kids there, well, some of the kids there, like you knew the only meal that they're getting is the one at school. Yeah. Like some of the kids, like we would have to send them home with like extra lunches so that they would have something to eat over Christmas break. Yeah. Or like some of the kids I knew, like they were getting abused at home. You know, so they would come to school and I was like,
what do you mean though? Our stocks and our Dow is at an all-time high, so our economy is doing great. Right. You mean you're saying that there's people that don't have any food in this country that like live in this town?
But like the $1,000 that we got should have lasted, right?
Yeah.
The stimulus.
Ramen.
Yeah.
If they knew how to make ramen, they would make it.
Right.
You
But
should
like,
be the Department of Health
ramen.
and ramen.
Department of Ramen. But like, you know, like some kids are like getting abused.
Yeah,
Like that was their safe space.
yeah.
So then that gets taken away. Now they're stuck at home, nothing to eat. They're getting abused. They're getting whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, that's going to affect
fucked,
all these kids. And so it's like it's going to take for some
Sorry
people.
about the camera cutting off. The battery died. But
so
whatever.
for some people, it's like, it was a traumatic experience.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
And so
well,
it's
like you saw,
yeah.
like the like domestic violence went up and all that stuff for like, you know, certain people and all that stuff. But yeah, it's like it's
Fucked up world.
sad. Yeah.
I know.
And that's in this country that we're perfectly fine. You know.
Right.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's yeah, no, of course it affected everyone. I'm not saying like
no, I know
like,
you're not.
It helped a lot of people too, you know.
Right.
But
yeah, it's just like we had the chance to like for us it was more like, hey, we don't get a chance to do puzzles and God, I'm like I hate when I tear up when I'm yawning. That means I'm tired. I hate like we got a chance
emotional about COVID.
That's it. We got to do puzzles and we got to do this, but even for us, after the third week, I'm like, dude, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Like I'm getting to the point where it's like I want to like be done. Like I'm like,
well, of course,
I feel like I'm getting cabin fever. Yeah. I couldn't imagine doing it like and just literally hating or fearing or whatever every single day. Yeah. Like that would suck. I'm like, I gotta leave. Yeah. I go through a river.
Drown yourself.
Drown myself.
But yeah, no, it was fucked and it's sad. It's sad. It's a sad life. We'll see how it is. We'll see the real effects in like 10 to 15 years.
Oh yeah.
You'll see a lot of foreclosures. You'll see a lot of shit.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be rough.
Rough and tough.
And then now with this new, just one more thing before we head off, this like new $2 trillion. Now, yeah, you can look however you want now. Because there's no camera. So wow, you're gonna do that? But no, it's like now we're gonna do that $2 trillion infrastructure bill, and it's like,
where's this money coming from?
Nowhere.
Dude, what's our national debt by now?
Oh, it's so much. But it's like we've printed so much money in the last like 5 years compared to
obsolete.
Like the country's history. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Who the fuck's printing all this shit? And where's their printer at?
They just use like
brothers,
brother and Canon fucking printers.
I'm about to start printing some money.
Hey, sometimes they use like Best Buy here, like the printer section.
Office Depot
and stuff.
Office Max.
We can rent ours out. But yeah, that's pretty much that. We live in a fucked world. That's what it is. Heyo. All we know is December 1st is going to be the best day ever.
Sunny.
Season 15 of Sunny.
Heyo.
But thank you guys so much for joining in. Sorry about the camera cutting off. I didn't have it plugged into wall power.
Our
it's just on
camera
the battery.
turned black. It's getting easier.
See, there you go.
This cat is black.
Not.
But
thank you guys so much for joining in. And yeah, that was episode 43. 44 is on the next one. 43 today is how much subscribers we have. So hopefully we have 44 subscribers next week.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you.
1 year, only 43 people. Okay, cool.
We'll see you retards later.
See you later. Ciao. Do you need help?
No, I'm good.
Okay, bye.